To you, 2,000 years from now. From you, 2,000 years ago. A message from Ymir to Eren. A cry for liberation, for freedom from a damned fate. From the first episode of Attack on Titan, Isayama knew exactly what he was doing, hence the paralleled titles. Within this latest episode, the story has finally come full circle. In the first chapter, the first episode, Eren is awoken from a dream of the future shown to him by Ymir of what was to come. Eren, when he awoke from this dream, asked Mikasa why her hair was so long, a question that made no sense at the time, but now makes perfect sense. In this dream, he saw everything, including adult Mikasa with short hair who we know now within the story. From this dream, he had tears, completely unaware why. This was a message to Eren from Ymir long ago, at the very genesis of our story that we know and love. This plot twist, this time paradox, has been planned from the beginning. This episode contained one of the greatest moments of the story thus far. The voice acting, the music, the visuals. It was nothing short of incredible and masterful. Today we are here to break down and explain this episode of one of the greatest pieces of fiction of all time. The episode begins with Zeke realizing that Eren pushed Grisha to fight the King of the Walls and kill Frida, that Eren in fact only showed Grisha the memories that fit his agenda to push Grisha to do this. Within last episode, we saw Grisha ask Eren why he showed him only incomplete parts of the memories. What happened to Carla, the walls being destroyed. He didn't get shown these things because Eren needed Grisha to fulfill his mission. Something a lot of people might not have picked up regarding this is that Grisha, when pleading with Frida, told her that she needs to stop the Titans because his house and family will be destroyed when the Titans attack the wall. To Frida, this likely made no sense. A Titan attack that hadn't happened, yet he knew the outcome, the danger, but didn't know the result. Within Zeke and Eren's dialogue, we're shown that he saw it all 4 years ago at the end of Season 3, where Eren kissed Historia's hands. He saw memories of his future self, from the past. From that moment within the story, Eren forever changed into a brooding and sullen character, transitioning from the previous shonen-esque individual he was. The burden of truth, of the past, and of the present was placed on him in merely a moment. Yet the magnitude of that moment forever changed him and the story step before us. Zeke, aiming to stop Eren, commands Ymir to take the ability to reproduce from all Eldians, and Ymir, being a slave to the royal bloodline, goes towards the coordinate. As Ymir walks towards it, he tells Eren that his power of seeing the future is lacking, that he couldn't see the full future, that it was incomplete, and that he's now powerless. In a moment we could all feel viscerally, we see Eren struggle and rip off part of his hand to escape these chains, and he runs towards Ymir to stop her. Yet Zeke says there's nothing he can do. Eren grabs Ymir and in that moment of touching her, receives Ymir's memories, her tragic past. We're brought to Historia being taught to be more ladylike, which in fact is like being like this girl in the book who was always kind and always thinks of others. This person being Ymir, the original Titan. The anime, in my opinion, did a phenomenal job on Ymir's backstory, adding even more exposition to the tragedy of Ymir. The dialogue ensues, saying that you must be sure to grow up to be somebody everyone loves and live helping others as they help you. Ymir embodies this, but embodies the faults of this ideology. While under the rule of Fritz, she bears witness to the cruelty of this world, death and slavery of her village. When the king asks who let a pig escape, every finger points towards Ymir, who's a young girl, in order to save themselves from having their eyes gouged. The king, after Ymir gets on her knees before him, tells her she's free, which is a lie, and she's shot with arrows and hunted down. A young girl who embodied love and submissiveness, she's now hunted and full of despair, and she eventually walks into a cave of sorts and falls into the water, sinking and drowning, not only physically, but internally, full of pain and agony, a life of suffering. Yet while sinking, something reaches her and chooses her, enabling the power of the Titan to be revealed for the first time. Ymir, with all the power to destroy the suffering she's endured, she remains yet a slave. She helped to build roads, cultivate wastelands, create bridges, and ensure the success of the Eldian tribe. And instead of being granted freedom for her actions, instead, Fritz gives her his seed to bear his children. Ymir, who's endured slavery, is now forced to endure bearing the children of the very man who enslaved her, and now enacting his will, crushing armies and annihilating many of the forces of Marley, granting him child after child and grandiose power and status. During this treachery, Ymir is never able to be free, and even in her final moments, she isn't free. Standing before the king, a man throws a spear to kill him, yet Ymir, who should have watched the king be killed, jumps in front of the spear to protect him, to protect the man who crushed her spirit and enslaved her. In her death, there is no remorse from Fritz. He views her as a pawn, as a slave. As she dies, we're shown she now exists within the paths, and we're juxtaposed with her body being chopped up and consumed by her very own children. Cannibalism by her 3 daughters forced upon them by their father. These 3 daughters are Maria, Rose, and Sheena. These 3 names are the very walls we've known for so long. Named after the daughters of Fritz, we now see the story come once more full circle. Fritz's words echo as he commands the cycle to be continued for generations, eating the spines of each generation as they die to ensure the Eldians will rule the world for eternity, that the blood of Ymir shall never perish. Ymir, even in death, knows this, and she continues his will, constructing titans from the sand and ensuring the power of Eldia will never cease. Even in her death, she isn't free from her slavery, her shackles. Eren had just experienced her pain, her life, all in just a moment of touching her, and he tells her that he'll end this. He'll end the world if she gives him her strength. He'll end her slavery. He tells her that she isn't a god, she isn't a slave, she's merely a person. She doesn't have to exist to serve as she always has without her own will. She doesn't have to bow to anyone anymore. She can choose. Freedom is the central theme of Attack on Titan, and now Eren presents her with exactly this. The escape from her life embodying the ideology of serving others. Zeke, who treated her as a slave as she's always been treated, simply has repeated the cycle of her suffering. She has bowed to others her entire existence, an eternity of doing everything for others without any choice of her own. No one who's ever befriended her, fought for her, given her a choice. Eren now is that person. Ymir's only friend, her only ally. Eren in these moments asks her if she's the one who's led him here, that she's been waiting for him all this time, for 2,000 years in fact. Zeke, while screaming out to her to obey his orders, Ymir with tears in her eyes, she finally realizes that she can choose, and that she does. She grants Eren her power, and the rumbling which we've awaited for all this time finally begins. Within what felt like years for Eren and Zeke was just moments in real life, and now with the power, the walls break apart, and with look from every character's face of shock and awe as they realize that Eren did it. He gained the power. Armin tells Mikasa they won, that Eren did it, that he was on their side from the start. In a moment that should be victorious for them is rather horrific. They soon realized that not just one set of walls was destroyed from the rumbling, all of the walls were destroyed, releasing far more titans than they'd ever need to wipe out Marley's force. Subsequently, they realized this isn't just a mere war against Marley, it's a war on the world. With brilliant music fully amplifying the chaos and destruction, Eren speaks to all subjects of Ymir, all Eldians. He tells them that the world aims to destroy them, not just the island of Paradis, that the world will never be satisfied with destroying the island, that they won't stop until every Eldian is extinguished. Eren says he will protect the people of Paradis, the place he was born, the world he was born into. That he will trample every inch of this damn world until life beyond the shores is wiped out. Eren's voice in this moment did the best performance I've ever heard from him, truly amplifying this episode to make it, for me, truly a 10 out of 10. The emotions we felt throughout this episode through Ymir's backstory, the rumbling commencing, and Eren's determination convey why this story is so brilliantly dark and emotional. The rumbling is here, and with it, Eren can control all the titans that Ymir has built over seeming eons. The power to destroy the world is now in the hands of Eren. Eren, the only person to ever treat Ymir as a human, as someone who can choose, someone who deserves to choose, makes you question if Eren's intentions are fully black and white. I, for one, am a Jaegerist and love to see what's occurring. As Eren said so poignantly, if someone tries to take away my freedom, I won't hesitate to take theirs. Is there any righteousness in choosing to destroy others for trying to take from you? That answer is clouded, and that answer is why there is so much intense dialogue amongst us who love this story. Freedom is Attack on Titan, the moral conundrum of the pursuit of freedom and the death, the chaos, and the evil it takes to actualize this seemingly altruistic dream. The agglomeration of all these episodes and chapters, to you from 2,000 years ago, from you 2,000 years ago. The story and its climax have arrived, fully connecting the timeline of what's happened thus far throughout the story. Eren Yeager now aims to wage war and destroy the entire world, something I don't think any of us could ever have expected from first being shown to this beautiful, dark, and intricate story. I am truly dreading the day whenever the final episode airs and will no longer be able to view and read and watch this amazing, amazing world of Attack on Titan. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, let me know in the comment section below. I love Attack on Titan, I love anime, and I love manga. And let me know what side of the coin you fall on. Are you a Jaegerist? Are you for Eren in what he's doing right now? Or do you think Eren is going about it the completely wrong way and should be brought down by those who are against him? And if you haven't already, please do subscribe, as it really helps out my channel. Whether you're a Jaegerist or not, pursue your freedom. Be Greedier.